Last week marks my 1-year anniversary with my Tesla Model 3, and first I just have to say how surprised I am on how quickly time passed by. In just a blink of an eye, 2020 flew by, and somehow I've already managed to own my Tesla Model 3 for a year already. Ever since I got this car last November, it has completely changed my life, and I've gotten even more accustomed to driving an electric vehicle for the rest of my life. Now I know it sounds cheesy, but trust me, if you own a Tesla, you know exactly how I feel. With that being said, does that mean I dislike driving regular ICE cars? Not entirely. There's still a whole bunch of ICE cars I really love to experience, like a Porsche 911 or a Lamborghini, but I just love my Tesla Model 3 so much and it has brought me to where I am today, and for that, I'm super thankful for. So after an entire year of owning this magical vehicle, here's how I truly feel about it. And if you enjoy watching today's video, make sure to smash the like button, but without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is my Tesla Model 3 review 1 year later. What's poppin', what's Gucci guys? If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a very special video because it marks my 1-year anniversary with my 2020 Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. Can you believe it? 1 year, 12 months, 365 days, and a couple of thousand hours. I don't know, I didn't calculate that far, but time seriously does fly, and it feels like it was just yesterday where the Tesla advisor drove my car straight from the Tesla factory, pulled into my garage, and then smashed the like button. I'm just kidding, he didn't smash the like button, but he definitely should have, just like how you should take the next few seconds to smash the like button if you haven't done so already, because the more likes that this video has, the more likely YouTube will recommend this video to a random audience who may not be exposed to my channel yet. So thank you for doing that, I really appreciate it, and let's continue with the video. Like I said earlier, this car has completely changed my life for the better, and I mean it 100%. It has shown me that electric vehicles are the future in ways such as having a car that is constantly upgraded through software updates, is so fun and easy to drive, not to mention safe, cost-friendly, and is very reliable. To start, let's talk about how this car literally gets new updates every couple of weeks. Sometimes when I pick up my phone, I see a red Tesla notification stating that a new software update is available, and then all of a sudden it feels like Christmas morning all over again, regardless of how big or small the update is. I mean, really think about it. It's so rare to hear about a car getting upgraded through a simple software update where I just practically tap a button and then a couple of minutes later my car is even better than it was before. Like, yeah, I can admit there's some really neat cars out in the market today, but not many of them can be upgraded through software like my Tesla Model 3 can. And that's just one of the main reasons why I really love this car. To go into it a bit further, think about a regular ICE car like a BMW or Audi, for example. No matter how nice they are, a year later they'll feel outdated, and I mean that with absolutely no disrespect. I used to own a BMW, and while I loved it, I always felt like my car was outdated. Like, I owned a car for 2 years, and each year I just felt more and more behind compared to the latest models, which now that I think about it makes sense, I guess. But the fact of the matter is, technology will keep advancing more and more, and cars like my old BMW will always be stuck with last year's technology, whereas Teslas will just keep improving more and more. And obviously there's going to be limitations in terms of what software can do for my Tesla Model 3 in a couple of years, but the bigger picture shows that overall my Tesla Model 3 will be able to combat the feeling of being outdated more than a regular ICE car can. And again, that's just one of the reasons why I learned to appreciate this car so much. Next up, let's talk about how fun and easy this car is to drive. Like, I literally think a 10-year-old can operate this car without having too much trouble. That's how easy it is. So first, all it really takes to operate this car is the accelerator, the steering wheel, and occasionally the touchscreen in case you want to access something like your controls, or if you want to zoom out of the navigation. Now before I move on, you're probably thinking,
well, Jay, you're crazy if you don't think the brake is essential to operate this car.
Yes, I agree that the brake is always going to be essential when you're operating this car, but the reason why I didn't mention it is because this car has what's called regenerative braking or regen braking. What this feature does, without getting too scientific, is whenever you lift your foot off of the accelerator, the car will gradually slow down for you, and the only time you really need to brake is in emergency situations or if you want to come to a full stop. Ever since I took delivery of this car last November, driving became so much easier and convenient for me because it's so simple. And if you've never gotten a chance to test drive a Tesla to feel this feature yet, I highly recommend you do so. And then if you're convinced enough to place an order right on the spot, make sure to use my referral link down below, because once you take delivery of your Tesla, both you and I will get 1,000 free supercharging miles, and as a result, the cost to operate this car will become just a little bit cheaper for you, and then you can begin to refer your own friends and family, which begins the process again, and then you'll rack up even more miles that way. Essentially, this makes the car kind of like free to operate. Anyways, let's move on to how fun this car is to drive. Like, no joke, I think this car is the funnest car I've ever driven. Keep in mind that's with my history of owning a 2006 Subaru STI, a 2006 Audi A6, and most recently a 2014 BMW M235i. When I mentioned how easy this car is to operate, some of you may have thought, well, if it's so easy to drive, then it must be kind of boring at the same time, right? And let me tell you, that's not true at all. I have the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, which is basically the slowest Tesla Model 3 available in the lineup. However, it doesn't negate the fact that this car has an amazing feature like all the other Teslas, also known as instant torque. This feature makes the 0 to 60 acceleration time feel so much quicker than it really is, and even though on paper this car shows a 0 to 60 acceleration time in like 5.3 seconds, once you press on the accelerator, it feels so much quicker than that, and I've mentioned this before, but it literally feels like you're on a roller coaster, and it's a feeling I never get sick of. Besides just the acceleration, the Tesla Model 3, in my opinion, handles the best out of every single Tesla vehicle in the lineup. So I'm comparing it to the Tesla Model S, the Model X, and the Model Y. I've driven every single one of these cars, and none of them handle as well as the Tesla Model 3 does. Maybe it's because of the fact that it's a smaller car so you can whip it around more, or maybe it's because it's a lighter car. I don't know, but what I do know is that it does in fact handle better. If you are a Tesla Model 3 owner watching this video, drop a comment down below stating whether or not you agree with my opinion so that people don't think I'm crazy. Moving on to one of my favorite topics to talk about in regards to this car, the financials. This car is so cost friendly that I don't ever regret buying it for a second.
Wait a minute, cost friendly? Jay, you're crazy if you think that this car is cost friendly. It's at least $40,000 after taxes and fees. You're out of your mind. Unsub. Dislike.
Yes, I know what you're thinking, but let me explain. Compared to most cars around the same price range, the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus will win in almost every single category, especially the cost category 99% of the time. And the reasons for that are simple. Gas savings, incentives and rebates, and less maintenance is required. Now, I'm going to toss a not so random date in the air. November 19, 2019. That was the last day that I would ever spend a dime on gas. So calculating how much I would have spent on gas if I didn't buy my Tesla, let's use a simple equation. Monthly gas price times 12. And yes, I am aware that COVID certainly may have impacted these numbers a bit, but for this example, let's just use how much I used to spend in gas every single month, which is roughly around $200. Now, if we plug these numbers into the equation, you can see that I've saved a total amount of $2,400 in a year's time. But why stop there? Let's include routine maintenance like oil changes, which is another $120 every 3 to 4 months, so that's at least another $360 of savings right there. But wait, there's more. Remember back when I ordered my Tesla Model 3, there was the federal tax incentive for Teslas, which was available for the amount of $1,875 plus $2,500 for the California state rebate, plus another $800 for PG&E's very own electric rebate. Adding all of this together, I've accumulated a total savings amount of $7,575 during my first year of ownership. And since I am financing this car, it's as if I basically paid nothing during my first year of ownership because of all these savings. And with all of that money I saved during the first year of ownership, I basically invested it back into Tesla stock as well as other ones, and I've managed to make a pretty nice return on it. So before the end of this year, I am planning to pay off the car entirely. And for those of you who are watching my video right now and you're looking up the rebates available for Teslas, I understand they're a bit different now, but all in all, there are still really great rebates such as the new California Clean Fuel Reward, a $5,000 grant based on income, and the California State Rebate, which is also based on income. I really like how this car kind of forces you to think outside the box. Like if I was to go out and buy a regular ICE car like an Acura or a Lexus or something like that, I basically just look at the sticker price and think of all the gas and maintenance I'm going to be spending on the car. But when I was ordering my Tesla, it was a completely different scenario. I was thinking of all the different ways I'm going to be saving money and how I was getting a better car. It was just a whole new experience and a really positive one, to say the least. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the reliability of this car, and I promise to keep it short because frankly, there's not really much to say about it. This car is the most reliable car I've ever experienced and owned in my entire life, and I went an entire year without having to leave the car at the shop and then picking it up a couple of days later. The only time I went to a Tesla service center was to check if my car was software locked, because initially when I picked up this car, it said I had a certain update, but I really didn't, so I really just wanted to make sure that all of the hardware in my car was okay. Luckily, nothing was wrong with my car, and just an hour or two later, I was good to drive my car back home, and overall it was a pretty seamless experience. One teeny tiny issue I ran into was when I was driving, I heard a little rattling noise that was coming behind my steering wheel, which I never got around to fixing because I'm lazy, and frankly I have no excuse for it, but since it didn't bother me too much, I just never got around to fixing it. All in all, after racking up 6,000 miles on this car and driving it for an entire year, I would say that this car is extremely reliable. And if I was to ever resell this car, it would be so difficult to tell between new and used. Granted, without the recent refresh. To wrap up this entire video, I've never ever experienced such an amazing car like this, and I look forward to making so many more memories with my Tesla Model 3 and sharing those memories with you guys on the channel. And I know I said it once or twice already, but it's crazy how fast this year went by, and somehow I've already managed to hit my 1-year anniversary with my Tesla Model 3. So I'm truly thankful for everything this car has enabled me to do, such as starting this YouTube channel and racking up over 2,600 subscribers. And since it's almost Thanksgiving, I'm also truly thankful for each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel, to like my videos, and continue spreading those positive comments on my videos. I feel truly blessed, and I don't know, it's just a really good feeling, and I don't really know what to say. What I will say is that I look forward to making so many more videos on the channel and sharing it with you guys. So cheers to all of you watching, and thank you again. Once again, if you're thinking about buying a Tesla, don't forget to use my referral link down below so that you don't miss out on any free supercharging miles. And if you enjoyed watching today's video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe down below. But as always, you guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.